Hey travelers, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're breaking down the latest 5.0 Phase 2 banners running from September 17th to October 8th, 2024. We've got two 5-star characters, Raidenshogun and Kinich, along with a solid selection of 4 stars, Thoma, Kujou Sara, and Chevreuse. And we've got two 5-star weapons, the Fang of the Mountain King and Engulfing Lightning, along with several strong 4-star options. Let's dive into whether these characters, constellations, weapons and their refinements are worth your primo gems. Let us start with the newest character, Kinich, a Dendro Claymore DPS who brings a fresh, unique playstyle to the table. His focus on burning and burgeon reactions with his powerful elemental skill offers fun and dynamic gameplay. However, Kinich comes with a few limitations that might affect his overall appeal, such as lack of AoE and no good support apart from Bennett. Despite this, his damage numbers in single target make him a solid A-tier DPS when paired up with specific supports. Kinich isn't a must-pull unless you're specifically looking for a Dendro DPS. He's recommended if you enjoy his character design, want easier exploration in Natlan, or are looking for a fun and unique DPS playstyle. Alternatively, you could wait and pull for him later, depending on the future support units he receives. If you would like to know more about him, please check out my Kinich F2P build and kit analysis video for a deeper dive. Next, let's quickly touch on Raidenshogun. She remains an S-tier electro DPS. Her elemental burst is her key strength, delivering massive damage while recharging your team's energy. Pair her with Engulfing Lightning or the Catch, and she becomes the core of hypercarry or burst DPS teams. She can also be played in Hyperbloom teams since she is an excellent Hyperbloom trigger with her elemental skill. While Raiden is great at C0 for DPS, her C2 unlocks a huge power spike, allowing her to ignore 60% of defense, which elevates her into one of the best hypercarry teams, which are often used in speedrunning combat events. In my opinion, going for archons is always a smart move in Genshin Impact. They are consistently top-tier units, and Raidenshogun is no exception. If you don't have her, I highly recommend pulling for her, as she fits into many team comps and excels in any content. For a full breakdown, check out my detailed Raiden F2P build guide video, linked below. Now, let us quickly see the 4-star characters. Kujou Sara is a great electro support, especially when paired with characters like Raidenshogun. Her elemental skill provides a solid ATK buff, and at C6, she unlocks a massive 60% crit damage boost for electro characters. Pre-C6, she can feel clunky and not worth building, putting her in D tier. But once you hit C6, she becomes top-tier support for Raiden hypercarry teams, putting her in a modest B tier. If you're close to C6, and you want to build the best Raiden team, she's worth the investment. Our next 4-star character is Chevreuse. She is a solid pyro, electro support specializing in boosting attack percent and shredding resistances. She's best used in overloaded teams, pairing perfectly with characters like Raiden, Yae Miko, and Fischl. At her base constellation, she is a good unit to have despite restricting your team to only have pyro and electro characters. At C6, she provides a 60% damage bonus to both pyro and electro units while offering team-wide healing, moving her to solid A tier. However, her healing might be insufficient for tougher content, and her overloaded knockback can be tricky. She's a good pull if you plan on focusing on pyro and electro compositions, especially if you aim for C6. Finally, Thoma is a reliable pyro shielder. His elemental skill and burst provide a pyro-resistant shield that scales off max HP. While his shield strength can rival Zhongli at max stacks, he requires high energy recharge to keep his shield up consistently. At C4, his energy management improves, making him easier to use. His elemental shield also does small pyro damage during normal attack animation, making him a very good burgeon enabler. Overall, Thoma is a high B-tier unit, offering decent shielding but with a more niche playstyle compared to more straightforward shielders. Here is the consolidated character tier list based on the explanations provided. Alright travelers, let's dive into the new weapon banner for Genshin Impact 5.0 Phase 2. We've got two 5-star weapons, the Fang of the Mountain King, and Engulfing Lightning, along with several strong 4-star options. Fang of the Mountain King is Kinich's signature weapon. It's a solid choice if you plan to invest in Kinich, but outside of him, its high base attack and niche passive makes it less versatile. If you're not pulling for Kinich or want to save primogems, this weapon might be worth skipping. However, if you're aiming for Raiden's weapon and lose the 50-50, it's not the worst outcome. Engulfing Lightning, on the other hand, is an excellent weapon for Raiden's Shogun. Its energy recharge sub-stat and attack boost based on ER make it perfect for Raiden, and it also works great on Xiangling if you want to maximize her damage. Its value could increase with future characters that scale off energy recharge, making it a good investment overall. Now let's talk about the 4-star weapons. Sacrificial Sword is a versatile option, especially with R5. It's great for characters like Kujousara, Xingqiu, and Jean, who benefit from using their elemental skill twice for energy or utility. Sacrificial Bow offers similar benefits for bow characters like Yellen or Diona, giving them additional skill uses. Favonius Lance is a must-have for any support polearm user. Its energy recharge passive is incredibly useful, and having multiple copies up to R3 is recommended for flexible builds. Even Raiden can make use of this weapon as a budget option. The Witsith is a fantastic DPS catalyst, especially at R5. It competes well with other high-tier weapons and works great for characters like Wraithsley, Wanderer, Ye Miko, and Ningguang. Lastly, Rain's Lasher is one of the weaker options on this banner. It doesn't particularly shine on any character, so it's an unlucky pull if you get it. Overall, this weapon banner offers some solid choices, especially with the updated pity system making it easier to guarantee a 5-star weapon after 160 wishes. If you're targeting Raiden or Kinich's weapon, it could be worth your pulls, but consider the versatility of these weapons when making your decision. Both Raiden Shogun and Kinich bring interesting options to the table. If you're missing Raiden, this is a great banner to pull on. If you're on the fence about Kinich, I'd recommend saving your primogems for upcoming Natlan characters unless you need a Dendro DPS. Make sure to check out my previous videos for detailed guides on Raiden and Kinich. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Genshin updates.